Hello and welcome to See What She Can Do Conversations. I'm Tina Finelli and I'm here with Caroline Wiley.
Hello.
And Lisa Dunbar.
Hey there.
We're here to talk to you today about who we are, why we started See What She Can Do, and what you can expect from our podcast. So first off, Caroline Wiley, she's co-founder of See What She Can Do. And I want to flip it over to you to talk a little bit about who you are, the impact of sport, and how we connected, like right up until that fateful moment where we had that cup of coffee in Frank's shop, and how that kind of became something.
Yes, exactly. Well, my world has always revolved around sport, and my happy place is sport. And I, always go to it when I need to feel grounded or really kind of feel like I belong to a community and my peeps. So really for me, I have worked professionally in the sport and rec field for over 20 years and got a master's degree in the field of recreation. And most of my research kind of focused around looking at the issues that women and girls face in getting involved and getting the chance to participate in sport. And really a lot of it focused around understanding why it is that women and girls continue to face really significant barriers to get in the game, get on the field, and be taken seriously for what they can do once they get on that field and, get in the game. So for me, it's always, and now that I have two teenage daughters, it's really shaped me even more in terms of understanding what that represents for women and girls in terms of being athletes and participants. So for me, over the 25 years that I've been in the industry since doing my research, a lot of it, there's been some progress, but a lot of it has been, challenging. And we're still talking a lot about, the issues that women face. And for me, it was like, okay, I'm tired. I don't want to hear the conversation about what we're facing. Let's do something.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
invest in women. Let's invest in each other, and let's lift each other up.
Okay, so let's dig deep. What is your favorite sport? And what's your least favorite sport and why?
Wow. I don't know if I'd have I would say, this is a tough question, man. In most days, it would be walking. Just love to walk.
Yeah.
Love to move. I've walked, a walk is in my day every day.
Well, and I love that she's considering that a sport, because I'm the same. I feel like walking
Yeah,
and hiking,
absolutely.
like you can really get your heart going.
Oh,
and
for sure.
You feel good. It's social.
Yeah.
Well, look, we see her walking all around the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Hello. She knows everybody
I know.
walking down the
Well, and
street.
this is how you get to meet people. You get out, you see neighbors, you say, hey, it's what makes your community what it is.
Well, and the joy is that we all live within like a half a kilometer of each other. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll see Lisa walking by the Tim Hortons with
That's
her
how
dog.
Lisa and I met, right? We were just
Oh, I
walking
didn't know that,
and
really?
we would say
How did I
hello
not know that?
on a regular basis. And it's like, okay, if we're going to say hello, we at least need to say,
Yeah.
who
Who are you?
Say, who are you?
Okay, but when you walk with her, you're kind of chopped liver because everybody knows who she is. You're like, where's your other guy, your partner? I'm like, hello, I'm right here.
No, I think Lisa would.
Oh, yeah, Lisa tops it.
I was about to say,
Well, you've been in Aurora for how many years?
I grew up in Aurora.
You're a forever Aurora girl,
Born
right?
up here, right?
Yeah, and in fact, your parents, like your house was just down the road from the Snap building here, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Did
my
you grow
mom
up?
grew up as a
your mom
child
did.
in the house, like literally 3 doors over
Wow.
on the
See?
street. It's kind
What
of
goes around comes around.
So
Pretty
we're in the
different back
Snap
then, I think,
studio right now doing our podcast, and it's a beautiful place to be. And we're really thrilled to be able to kind of connect here. And okay, Lisa, so, well, she never answered her question.
She dodged it. I like
Okay.
that.
Well, I did say my favorite is walking. I don't know, actually, honestly, I don't know if I have a least favorite in the sense that, okay, maybe I should say my least favorite is stretching after walking because I know I am supposed to do it.
Welcome to the Everybody Club.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really nice to meet you.
Catches up with you though, doesn't it?
And it gets
Yes,
harder
it does.
as you
Listen
go.
to my massage therapist and physiotherapist. He's like, okay, you gotta stretch.
Yeah, especially as
we,
get less stretchy.
cross the 50-yard line, so to speak.
Okay, Lisa.
I don't know what you're talking
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay, I don't know how I didn't know that you guys met walking, but okay, tell us about yourself.
about. All the times we've been sitting around the
All
table,
the times
right?
we've been sitting around the table. Okay, beyond the fact that around this table there's really something special. Like there is a twinship thing happening here.
Yes.
We are all
Little known fact about
Yes.
See What She Can
we
Do
are
team.
all twins.
Yeah.
Lisa is the queen twin because she's an identical, and apparently those are far better than fraternal
Well, it's because
twins.
they share 95% of the genes, right? Like, so, it's a higher number.
Tell us about yourself, my love.
I'm a twin.
Yeah.
Like you and you. Professionally, I'm a marketer, and I built a career in building marketing brands and strategy, which is awesome, and I've had really great experience in a bunch of different industries. But I'm also a lifelong advocate of sport and like the strength and power of sport. And I know we sit around the table all the time and talk about like how sport has influenced your life.
How has it influenced your life? What's the biggest
So
impact
many
it's
ways,
made?
right? Like I think like even in business, I am the queen of analogy, and there is nothing better than sitting amongst a team of people building a strategic plan for a business, an idea, whatever, and make an analogy to a game sheet, right? Like you wouldn't go into a competitive game or sport without a game sheet, a plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it just, they
absolutely.
intersect all the time. So, and because I've grown up and always been active in participating in sport, it's so natural to make that analogy, right? And it's powerful because you think like through the journey of your life, how I do anyway, how much sport has had an impact, right? Everything from, you guys were probably fairly similar in high school. You played everything, like even sports you didn't know.
That was the joy of high school. You could play everything.
You played
right?
everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. If you were athletic somewhat or even a little bit, you got to make a team.
Right. I played soccer. I was terrible.
Yeah.
But I could run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was it.
And you had long legs. I'm sure you could outrun everybody that was out there.
I couldn't handle the ball like at all.
You
but
can't tell with Lisa sitting here, but how tall are you?
5'10"?
You're 5'10". Yeah, I'm 5'4". How about
Yeah.
you?
5'4".
Okay, there
Proud
you
of
go.
it.
She
You're only
towers.
5'4"?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always look up to Lisa. Okay.
Fun size. My sister would say fun size.
Fun size. Is your sister the same height as you?
Exactly the same.
That's amazing. Yeah, my sister's not the same height as me. I
Mine
would
is.
like to think she's shorter, but okay. So
Often
what?
people prefer vertically challenged. Short people don't like. So
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
People don't like short.
Well, I am
Vertically
short, so I
challenged.
can say short. But yes, I mean. Okay,
so I think
what is
about
your?
it.
I was
I
gonna
would
jump
say
in. I'll let
like
you finish.
what's really like you think about the different phases of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in high school, you play every sport you can, and I would say that gave me the confidence going to university, totally different environment, to walk onto a field hockey field and try out for the varsity team.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I didn't
and at the
know
same
you
time,
tried out for
trying
the
out
varsity
like
team.
I played, and then I was playing volleyball as well, and then you have to choose,
Yeah.
right? But like it's the platform for you never have any fear of meeting new people,
Yeah. Or try new
things,
Yeah.
right? Because it gives you confidence, right?
Yeah.
And as a mom, I'm a mom of a daughter as well, who was pretty quiet when she was younger and was a little bit shy, and so she's since picked up gymnastics as a sport. It's changed her confidence, no question.
It's amazing.
So like
eh?
you just keep seeing the power, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about new sports. Okay, what is the thing that you tried that you were most scared to try?
Oh, I'm mostly not afraid to try anything. I think because I've played lots of different
Yeah.
sports, I would say like sometimes I'm a bit competitive, so I like to know the game, the sport, and like the tricks of
Before
the
you try
trade going into it,
Yeah.
so I can compete. But I would say there's not any sport I wouldn't try.
Okay, so I'm going to rephrase that. What is the sport that you tried that you never thought in your youth you would ever give a go?
Oh, ball hockey for sure.
Yeah?
For sure.
Cool.
And we went, and I was thinking about that actually just on my way here. I'm like, it's so funny, like thinking of a sport that I don't, like the first time I saw a game, I was like, oh yeah, there's no way I'm playing that. Because I didn't play ice hockey growing up.
Yeah.
So I looked at them and I was like, oh my God, they're so fast. And like their stick handling is awesome. And that's a sport I could like never ever play. So I was 18 the first time I saw a game, joined a team, and I've been playing for over 30 years. Same
That's
team.
amazing.
And I
Wow.
still can't stick
Same
handle very
team.
well, but I can still run.
Okay, so you're a runner too. You're a marathoner, right?
I have done half marathons.
Half marathon. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
And what
good.
did it take to do that? Like, what kind of mindset do you need to have? Because it's more than just the running piece of it; it's the mindset too, right?
It was the mindset, and it was just I had young kids when I started doing long distance running, and I needed something that was quick and easy. Like literally, you need shoes.
Right.
Like you need good shoes, great shoes. And time, you just go. And often I would be literally racing, timing to the pickup of the bus in between like meetings. Get a quick run in, get to the bus. Because when they're little, like they can't get off the bus unless you're there, right? Yeah. So that was a motivator for me when I started.
And then to run quickly away from the bus when it was going.
Exactly.
Free time! Gotta go!
Yeah, no. And then my husband did an Ironman. So we got into a community of people playing that sport, which is a really amazing community too. So I started doing tri, which was a bit shorter distance, which was probably better for my almost 6 foot frame. But
did you swim in a dark lake anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
to
problem.
me, I think I could do it in a pool, that part of it in the pool. I don't know if I like the fact people swimming over top of me in the dark water.
And kicking and
You've got
it would be
the swim piece for probably 80% of the people who do try is the
hard part.
most fearful part. But
yeah. Practice makes perfect.
It's first, so you get it out of the way.
Yeah.
That's probably why they make it first, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the three of us, weirdly enough, met without knowing that we all met. So I worked with Lisa years ago on a not-for-profit with Lynette Rumbold to help bring kindness into schools. So we kind of touched base that way. My sport background, I grew up in an immigrant home, like my parents immigrated from Italy, and they weren't really into sports at all. So for me, I like you, I learned to play everything in high school. I actually learned to play field hockey too, so we have to get on the field together. I've actually thought about going back to field hockey. Now, did they make extra long sticks for you? Because those sticks were really, really short. Yeah, so that was my intro into field hockey. But I played everything. Like I was a generalist: soccer, basketball. It didn't matter if I was short or not. It was just a welcoming environment. And then, so sport was kind of my way to burn off some of this crazy energy I have inside of me and to be social, right? So, and when I came to Aurora, I came here after living in Japan for a year and a half and didn't know a soul. And I've lived here for 15 years and know tons of people now. A good portion of them, or my closest friends, are my sport friends. So for me, hockey was my game, and I never, like you, when you were talking about ball hockey, for me, like I couldn't skate. I couldn't stop. I'd only ever worn those white, kind of hard, plastic, $12 Canadian Tire skates.
Yeah.
Did you all own those? No, you always had hockey skates, right?
No, actually, I skated for years on figure skates.
Oh, you did?
Okay. Yeah, all I did was skate public skating. So you just, you just had to keep up with the boys. That's all you had to do, right?
Yeah. I didn't have boys in my family that skated, and I definitely was a bender. Like I could not.
Oh, no, I didn't go to.
I think that's what the pros call it, isn't it? Yeah. With your ankles that go in. So one day both my girls were playing. My husband was playing hockey. My girls came over to the bench and they were like, "Mom, you're the only one in the family that doesn't play hockey." I'm like, So that was kind of like, okay, well, you're going to be a role model. I loved watching the game. It was so fun. I'd totally gotten into it with my kids, like watching their games. So great example of how when your kids are active, they can influence you as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I started Never Too Late Hockey. It was a great program. And, it was typically moms or singles who had never skated before. It was such a great program. Kara McLeod and Heather Morning. Awesome program that's actually still running today. And that's where I met Caroline.
Similar. Because I thought I'd moved to Aurora, and the kids my younger one had just entered grade 1, had finished sort of the half-day school at the time, and went, okay, now's the time to kind of get out. I hadn't, other than meeting, at that point I wasn't in the working world. I'd kind of taken myself out because we were moving around North America with my husband's job, and the kids were little. So, I thought, okay, I need to start meeting people, and always wanted to play ice hockey, just had never played it. So again,
but you had played like pond hockey, just not organized hockey.
I got a little bit, but it was mainly just street hockey. I just grew up playing street hockey.
Man, you know how to skate.
Well,
I was thinking when I met you.
No, that was the public skating. When you're trying to keep up with the boys, and I don't mean my brothers, I mean the boys, you got to keep up.
Yeah.
But my crossovers are really good in one direction. They're not so good in the other.
Cool.
But your soft hands, because you have very good hands for hockey.
Thank you.
Those were all that was
that was all
playing.
ball hockey.
Yeah.
That was just through street hockey.
Yeah.
And again, I think
That's
so
important
much
too.
of it is just, and I mean, I tried anything with a stick in a ball or a racket in a ball. That is for me my thing. So, and again, much like you, it's all about strategy. I love strategy and all of that stuff. So, but I'd always wanted to try playing hockey, and then so one of the Girl Guide leaders of one of my daughters, Kate, said, you should come out and play Never Too Late hockey, because that's where she played. And so I came out and I never looked back.
Yeah.
I went and bought all the equipment. It was my Christmas present and started in January.
Okay, you didn't get pink gloves, because I got pink gloves for
No,
Christmas.
that was no.
Well,
Hard no.
some people like pink gloves.
It's just not me.
Well,
like pink's just not me.
I know. And you know what? It was
But
a
for
very
those who do love pink,
It was a
That's cool.
very thoughtful gift for my husband, but when you cannot skate very well, having pink gloves to draw attention to your hands, maybe not the best thing. But I used them for many years, and they were actually, one of the girls had it was awesome. She had these, who was it, Esther, that had those gloves?
Oh, fur gloves.
She had fur.
Oh, leopard gloves. It wasn't fur, just leopard style, leopard patterned.
Oh, yeah. They were awesome.
Yeah, I thought they were sporty yet elegant. In my world, that was... She was rocking it.
Yeah, she was definitely rocking it.
Absolutely.
So we had coffee one day.
Yeah. So fast forward, probably 4 or 5 years. The kids were getting older, and I'd been volunteering with a number of different agencies, and kind of decided I wanted to get back into the world of sport and rec, and had really spent, as I moved around and lived in different communities and experienced different things, I kind of saw that there really wasn't a world, like anything for women to see themselves. So when I initially kind of created the idea of See What She Can Do, I thought I was going to create a magazine so that, the See It to Be It. And I love to take pictures. I was taking lots of action pictures of my kids playing sports. I was doing a pretty good job at it.
That is a lot harder than it looks. I have tried,
sure.
obviously, Caroline's our chief photographer, which is why when you come to our site, you see these awesome photos. And the ones you don't see are the ones that are in the trash can that I went and took, because as much as you can watch it and see it, I mean, I am getting better at it. I'm learning, but it takes a certain skill to be able to catch that moment in time and those consecutive moments that really lead to capturing the moment. Right?
Well, it's funny. I've spent my whole life watching sport, playing sport. So for me, it actually kind of trained my eye to be an action photographer.
You anticipate the play. You anticipate where it's going to go.
Yeah,
right?
so that's exactly it. So I know I'm learning. I don't, I'm learning.
She's very
as
humble.
I learn, as I photograph new sports, you begin to learn. Okay, this is the play. This is where it's going to be. These are the shots, and then I also get a sense of, as I continue to shoot a particular sport, I start to see the shots that I want to capture. So but so again, it was one of those, and I was turning 49 and went, okay, if I'm going to do this, invest in and jump off the cliff and give it a go,
and solve the problem
change the trajectory.
What was the problem you were trying to solve?
Well, for me, the problem I wanted to solve was, let's get rid of the barriers. Let's shift the paradigm, and instead of saying, why can't we? Let's start saying, this is what we can do. Let's talk about the do, and let's talk about it in a way that is, all inclusive, and it's about the do. It doesn't have to be about what she looks like, or it's about capability and confidence and just getting out there, giving it a go, right? And having fun playing.
Yeah. So the the most recent rally the rally report that was released by
Canadian Women in Sport.
Is talking about that trend that you studied 20 years ago, and how girls are dropping out at the teenage years at 3 times the rate of their their male counterparts.
Yeah.
And younger.
Yeah.
Well, at a
and
younger age, it used to be
age.
12. Like even
Yeah.
my daughter, I would see a drop off and at 12, and breaks my
Yeah.
heart. And now to
Yeah.
hear that it's getting lower is like heartbreaking, right?
Well, and some of the research that I was able to do with my graduate research really was cutting edge in the sense that it was one of the first studies that looked at gender differences, and I happen to pick two stereotypical sports, hockey and figure skating. But the research itself began the conversation on, maybe there's different motivations that are in play in terms of what the consumer experience is, what the purchasing decision, if you will, and what are the motivating factors. So
Sheila Croxon, actually, we were at a great, the Child of Aurora ran a really great webinar. We were all actually listening on it 'cause it was fantastic. But Sheila Croxon, 3-time Olympian, was she spoke
artistic swimming coach.
Oh, she spoke so beautifully about the differences in how why girls stay in sport and why boys do. And one of the things she had said was, girls,
and even getting into it.
You're right. So one of the things she had said was, girls start by getting into it because of the relationship piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they build, their skills and capabilities and confidence, and then they start to excel. Whereas, boys will come in and, start to play, build their skin, their skills, and then become part of the community. So neither of those things are bad or good. They just are.
Yes, just differences. Right? It's having
and that's not everybody. I mean, everybody's different. I'm sure there are individuals for boys that crave community first, and for girls that crave whatever it is.
Competition and performance first. Absolutely. So, but from a general sense, or at least that's what the research would suggest. So at the end of the day, just to step back, when we sat down for coffee, it was amongst all our hockey peeps, and I thought, okay, if I'm going to start this idea and put it out into the universe, let's throw it out to people who I feel safe in. So in my world, it was the ladies that I play, my hockey sisters, and said, what do you guys think? And it was a 2-page document. It had some pictures. It had some writing. And threw it out there.
On a napkin.
Yeah. Well, actually,
coffee shop napkin.
If you talk to my wonderful friend Maggie B, who has been a wonderful friend for so long, we kind of, our journeys followed us in different ways. We ended up being in same cities, or we'd cross paths in weird and wonderful ways. And so every time we would, plan a meeting to connect in however way we came together, we always spent time talking about this idea, and it would be, I can give you the stack of napkins I have, honestly. Yeah. Maggie would be the first to tell you that. And that is how the idea started.
So the idea is to get, so See What She Can Do, the idea behind it is to break down those barriers, get more women and girls playing, participating in sport at all levels, whether that's recreational, whether it's elite, whether it's as a coach or an official or a player or whatever that may look like. Exactly. Because we know the benefits of sport are huge.
Yep. Yeah, and I think also just to make it, to give women and girls a place where they feel a sense of belonging, a sense of connectedness to sport, and then for everybody who's supporting the women and females in their lives who want to support them in their journey to be in sport. It allows them to be a part of the community too. Because for me in particular, Mark, my husband, has been, a phenomenal partner in helping me make sure that's an important part of who I am and my day, and also played an important role in making sure our girls have a great experience in their sport, whether it's been through being a coach or giving them encouragement.
Or doing things with them.
And doing things with them and showing them how he supports me, like walking the talk.
And quite often, I don't know, do you find the same thing? Like, that's a way to connect with your kids when they're no longer interested in connecting with you.
And I think I'm listening to you talking, and we're twins, so we all like to talk at the same time. What's amazing though, and what I love about the site, we're 2 years, like we celebrated 2 years this year. is like the stories that are shared are, as you said, it's an array of people of all different athletic abilities. So you can find a story that resonates with you today, wherever you are in your journey of life, sport,
For sure.
right? Like you may be someone who's is discovering running for the first time, and you get on, you read a story about someone who actually hates the first 10 minutes of the run every single time. And you're like, why would you do it if you hate it every single time? But then they go, well, but after the 10 minutes, it's actually pretty awesome, right? So that's what I love about the platform is the sharing in the community and the stories, because you can connect with people.
So, okay, what's your favorite story on the site? Or what's your favorite interview or your experience?
Oh,
and that's
my
not just
favorite?
on the site, and just in our community as a whole.
I think it's really hard to pick one story.
Yeah.
Because there are so
many.
many.
Tell us some good ones that you...
I think this year we've participated in Ella, and we've had some new members come on board.
Yeah.
Gail is so fantastic. Run a Little Monkey. Some physiotherapist folks, and just different people who are not necessarily just the athletes, right? It's the people that support them and keep them active, or actually encourage them to engage and try something new.
And kind of approaching things much like what we are. Like, we want to make a difference in the lives of women. And, you know, they're wanting to lift women up too. And so, you know, there's common ground right from the get-go in terms of values and, you know, mission statements, etc. Right?
For sure.
So on the site we have, just so people who've never been to our site before, so we've got content.
SeeWhatSheCanDo.
Yeah, SeeWhatSheCanDo.com. We have content, so all sorts of great stories, whether those are interview stories or stories that people have submitted on their own. We have this great online business directory where organizations, sport providers, anybody in our world that kind of serves the needs of active women are there, and you can find them and you can talk to them and you can learn things about them. We've got, you know, municipalities, we've got like, you know, media organizations, but then we have like small mom and pop shops, we've got healthcare pros, you know, you were talking about Run Little Monkey, they make gear, running gear. You know,
Best darn t-shirt you're ever gonna wear.
And then the third aspect are our groups and events where you can kind of organize stuff. Now a lot of it's virtual, but you know, it's opening way back up to, you know, in-person meetings, because we know we need to find the people to be able to do stuff.
Well, and a lot of what kind of in sort of the ideation of all of this, you know, having moved around from community to community, whether it was out west or in the United States or even within Toronto, and then coming here to Aurora, it's really hard. The challenge is if you want to try something new, you have to figure out how do you find out who to talk to get into a new community, whether it's within the world of sport or whether it's within the neighborhood you happen to live in. So for me, it you know, and having been in the delivery of sport programs and running a provincial sport organization, you know, we were really good at speaking to our existing members, but we often found it challenging to find new channels to talk to potential new members.
Well, and I mean, let's be real, as our lives change, like whether you're single, just graduated school, or you've just had a baby, or you're aging, you're retiring, like we need and want different things. Right? So what may be great for you now may change in a few years, and then how do you find that community?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Well, and you just we all ebb and flow, and that's okay, right? You know, again, and knowing that sport in my mind, you know, sport is about a continuum, and you may be really good at something and you may not be so good at something else, but we all kind of fall.
But it brings you joy.
But it brings you joy, right? And you know, it's about figuring out where that fit is, and then, you know, let's go and see where it takes you.
Okay, so I want to talk about my favorite stories.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to tell you mine too.
Okay. I mean, there are so many, like you said. I mean, how do you even, you know, write those numbers? But some of the early stories we did, you know, we talked to a photographer, Angela Ducat. She's from Aurora, and she did a whole project called the Note to Self Project. Did you ever see that project? It was very cool. It was like you write your younger self a note, and what would you tell them? So there's a few athletes featured in that. That was really cool. We just actually, we just released a story about roller derby by the athlete in that, her name is Shaniqua, and Katie Murray wrote that, one of our writers, and she covered, I had no idea. So the roots of roller derby actually go back to the time around segregation, and it was that community was intended to lift people up. So there's actually, and it's a very diverse, really
physically
cool
knock
community.
them down, but lift them up.
Oh yeah. After you're done, you can lift them up. But it's such a cool story because first of all, roller derby does sound very cool.
It does.
They've got all kinds of really, it's very athletic, but it's a very inclusive place. People who have beliefs across all belief systems are welcome in. So I thought that was really a really cool story.
Cool.
Kloski Klein, is it Andrea?
Oh no, it's just in our most recent. We just did.
I'm gonna look it up. While
Yeah,
you're
look
talking.
it up. Do
tell me
me
your
a
next
favor.
one.
Look it up, and it's our most recent story. It's this week is National Coaches Week.
Yeah.
And so we've brought together some stories that we wanted to sort of bring back and focus on. The stories that we've told of women who've been engaged in coaching. Well, Tina gets that story up so that she can remind me.
What's your other one?
Which is timely. It's timely though because of the Canadian women in sport. Like the report talks about the reduced numbers in terms of people signing up.
We need to get more people. We need more women and
coach.
girls. Yeah, in the leadership positions. But I think one of the things there's two stories. One was about the launching of the Whitby Fire
that
ball
was
hockey.
great. Yeah.
There are three gals: Tracy, Danielle, and oh my gosh, my gray brain is Tracy's partner, life partner. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it. But
Can you look that up too?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but
you look up ball hockey. That's a great story.
Exactly. And again, I'm trying to remember all the details, but really what resonates with me is that Tracy. Sadly, we've lost Tracy. She had a very short battle, or I'm not sure how long her battle was with cancer, but we lost her. They lost her in the summertime, and I felt so honored to have told her story behind her passion and her commitment to supporting the women and girls of the Durham region to help create the new ball hockey league.
Yeah.
And what's amazing about the stories and as they're written, which I think is kind of cool, is that they're very visual. So we really are trying to step up around that whole notion that only 4% of media covers women in sports. So you'll see photo blogs. That story in particular for ball hockey, it's a great photo blog and it shows kids of all ages and adults interacting.
Yeah. Well, and it shows
right?
Tracy she was a coach. She was an official.
Referee.
She was official. She was a national level coach. International level coach.
Yeah.
And just wanted to be able to create more opportunities for women and girls to get in the game of ball hockey, and aspire to greatness.
Okay, so we're going to write the names of our favorite articles in the show notes, so that people can follow them.
Yeah.
I can't pick a favorite one.
I know, but that's the problem. You remember all the stories and all the people, and then you're like, I don't even know which one.
Yeah.
But they're all great. So come on over. There's something for everybody, right, to check out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got a podcast that we've just launched, and we're super stoked. This is your chance to kind of get to know who we are, and you'll see a combination of, two of us probably at any given podcast. But let's talk a little bit about why we started it and how that's kind of a natural extension to our platform. I don't know, Lisa, do you want to jump in?
I was just going to actually extend an invite, right? We are, as you can tell, huge fans of storytelling because it's those are the ways that you keep people active and engaged in sport, which we all believe so wholeheartedly in.
Yeah.
So I was just going to sort of put out a call to say, listen, if you got a story you want to tell and you want to join us on one of our podcasts, we would love to share your story.
Buzz505.com/SeeWhatSheCanDo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let's give voice to what's going on in your world. Yeah.
Well, and I'm a podcastaholic, so I would
Self-proclaimed.
happily say I love
My name is Tina
podcasts.
Finelli, and-
Yeah, and I'm a podcastaholic. So if there are podcasts that are out there, we would love to have you on our show and showcase you, right? Because I mean, the more people we can get out there, the bigger the ripple we can make.
Absolutely.
The more we can bring people into our fold and lift people up.
Exactly. And there's just so much great stuff happening at every level of sport. Let's just celebrate. Let's just highlight.
Yep. Excellent. So we've got a few great podcasts coming up down the pipes. We're going to be talking to Jess Silver. And she's an amazing woman who's overcome all kinds of adversity, physical, mental, and is making a huge impact on people. She's just released a book.
Yeah, her memoir.
Her
called,
memoir.
Run.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I'm in the process of reading it now to prep for that podcast, so it's really cool. And we've got all sorts of other guests that we've lined up to participate in our podcast. Yeah, so that we can get to know what's happening in our community. The format of our podcast is a little different in that not only do we want to celebrate the active women and girls in our community, but we also want to showcase the great people and organizations that help them do what they love most.
And even the products and services, right? Like physiotherapists, like the people who keep people active.
Yeah, because there are so many of them, and we noticed that so much when everything shut down with COVID, and you're like, I can't get a massage, or I can't, I need a new pair of shoes. I have holes in the fronts of my shoes.
And funny enough, one of the key takeaways when we listen to so many conversations and discussions around getting back to sport, once we realized some of the limitations and the challenges around COVID, excuse me, is that it's really the 3 C's that kind of lifts up these efforts to get everybody back to play. It's collaboration, it's communication, and it's connectedness. And really that's a big part of what we're trying to do through the podcast is kind of bring everybody to the table physically, hopefully
as much as we can,
but virtually in other ways. So again, let's bring everybody to the table and let's see how we can work together to solve some challenges and have some successes together.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a wrap. It's been awesome to have the 3 of you together today. And we're looking forward to more shows.
Excellent. All right.
Awesome.
Well, have a great day.
Good
Cheers.
times.
Okay.
Okay.